Welcome to our relationship advice. Today we have a story about a man, his girlfriend, and the man's much too close female best friend. And another possible cheating story about a landlord, his wife, and their new tenants. If you like this content, like and subscribe. Thank you. Story number 1. My female 25 boyfriend, male 28, has a really clingy best friend, female 24. Do I give him an ultimatum or not? I don't trust their friendship. So, this is a really long story, but basically, I don't trust my boyfriend and his female best friend's relationship, and I think they've either had sex before or dated. So, we've been dating for about 6 months now, and I'm really head over heels in love with this guy. He's amazing, really good looking, and the best sex I've ever had. I really don't want to lose him if I'm just being paranoid, but he's my first ever proper relationship and I don't know if I'm missing red flags. After 2 months of dating, I noticed that she FaceTimes him a lot. I'm talking at least 3 times a day, and they always seem to make goofy faces at each other and act super close and silly. Way different to how he is with me. They've been friends for 5 or 6 years, and they met through someone else. She is the only person on his phone with an emoji next to her name. It's a crown, and then a heart, and told me that the reason why that is because her nickname by everyone is Princess, so it's always been that way since they met. I didn't really care until one day we were in a shop together, and I asked if they ever dated before, and he casually told me that they were going to date before, but she slept with one of his friends, so they never did, and she regretted it, and actually had feelings for him, but he didn't feel the same way. So, they just continued being friends. That made me worried, especially because they text and FaceTime all the time, and she calls him, even if it's 3 AM just to chat, or if she needs help with something, and he always drops everything to speak to her. They have a secret SOS code with each other, which means that they have to drop everything to help each other out. Even if we are on FaceTime, he will tell me she has an SOS, and will call me back after. Today he was on FaceTime with her, and she asked where he was, and he said he was out with a friend, and then later another friend called him, a guy, and he told him he was with me, his girlfriend. I asked him why he told her he was with a friend, but the other guy, he specifically said girlfriend. He told me to drop it, and that I was being paranoid and didn't remember. Then he admitted he hadn't really told her much about me, although she knows me roughly, because he didn't want to tell all of his friends unless we are 100% serious. So, he only has told a few friends. However, he has another female friend who he told about me, and he's really close to her, so I think he's lying. I was playing with his phone, he was on mine, and as a joke we were going through each other's pictures. He didn't mind, he allowed it, and it was just a joke, and we were laying on bed. When I found a video she sent him of her having sex with a guy, I asked him why she would send him that if they are just friends, and he said it was years ago with an ex of hers, and she sent it to him as a joke. That was super weird. Anyway, I ignored it, but still felt like something was off. So, I went back on his phone later, when he wasn't looking. I know 100% this was wrong, but felt like he was lying. And I found messages from him to her saying that they have to tone down their FaceTimes to a friendship level because his aunt is coming over for the weekend. Even though it was me he was seeing over the weekend, so he lied to her about me being here. I couldn't confront him as I didn't want him to know I went through his phone. Then he invited me out to spend the day with his friends, one guy and a girl, and I asked if his female best friend would be coming, and he said no because she's sick. I also thought he was lying and hiding something. I feel like they have dated before, or she has feelings for him, and I don't trust them two together, especially as he does photography as a side job and has taken pictures of her and his other friend in lingerie for his portfolio at his house. He showed me all the pics, he has a separate Instagram for it. I told him I don't trust her because of the sex video and the fact he's seen her in lingerie because of his side job. So, he finally agreed to tell her about me on the phone in front of me and told her to reassure me that they are just friends. Instead, she was super rude to me and told me that whatever friendship she and him have is none of my business and that I should just trust whatever he says or break up with him. He didn't even back me up or anything or tell her off. He hung up and we didn't speak about it, and I left because I was so upset. I just feel super insecure and worried, and he always tells me I'm being paranoid and that if he wanted to date her, they would already. But now I feel super betrayed and like he didn't even stand up for me, and I went home and cried and haven't spoken to him since. Should I give him an ultimatum to stop being friends with her? Or am I just being a paranoid crazy girlfriend? Update. He texted me all day begging me to come over so he can explain. I came all the way to his house crying my eyes out asking him to tell me the truth about his female friend, and I admitted that I saw the text between them both about me being an aunt. Then he said I must have been confused and said that he never sent her that. I went back on his phone and he deleted it. Then I cried and asked him why he allowed his friend to talk to me like that, and he said that when I left he called her back and told her that the way she spoke to me was unacceptable, and even deleted the emojis next to her name to try and prove it. I cried and said it wasn't good enough and that he needs to get her to apologize on the phone because I didn't believe him. He was reluctant and finally he called her, and when she answered he was being super weird and didn't even want to say I was in the room. Then she asked why he was calling and why he was acting weird, and she was like, "Oh, are you with your aunt?" So then I got fed up and shouted and asked him why she would ask that unless he did send her the text. Then he got flustered and was like, "Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. There's no aunt." And then his friend was like, "Oh, I know, it's that girl you're with again." And I asked her outright to apologize and she refused, saying she had nothing to be sorry for. Then he feebly tried to ask her to apologize, saying where I was coming from, clearly just to please me, not really meaning it, and she could tell. Then he said that he can't force her to apologize and he can see both sides. Then he tried to say it was my fault and I shouldn't have been snooping through his phone and that I shouldn't have shouted at his friend as his girlfriend, even though she was rude to me first. Literally, I can't take his manipulation and lies. I started crying again, and his female friend then turned on me, calling me a red flag for going through his phone and being obsessed and weird, and saying me and him haven't been going out that long to get involved in her and his friendship. Then I shouted we were together for 6 months and she didn't know. Either way she didn't care and said that I'm not good for him. He didn't even interrupt her or explain or anything. I had enough and stormed out. I cried the whole way home and I have blocked him. He has called me about 30 times. My best friend thinks he may have been trying to use me for a passport. He's from another country and thinks that the girl may have been in on it. I'm so heartbroken and I can't stop crying. I honestly thought he was the one, but I'm very naive and easily led on. I should have known better. Frowny face. Here's the first comment. Girl, the problem is not the clingy best friend, it's him. He didn't want her to know about you. He gaslighted you when you figured it out. He didn't back you up when forced to tell her. You are always going to take second place to this girl until they hook up. Here's the next comment. You've been together 6 months. He talks to her 3 times a day and he hasn't told her about you. And he lies to her and says that you're his aunt. Honey, this is a huge red flag. Like screaming, giant, fire engine red waving at you. This is absolutely unacceptable. Tell him that his behavior is completely inappropriate and that you're not going to be anybody's dirty little secret. Tell him that he needs to tell her about you immediately and that you are going to be on his next FaceTime with her. I don't feel good about this OP. He's intentionally trying to keep both of you on the hook. I think this is going to end badly. Here's the next comment. It sounds to me that he's in love with her, but he's either punishing her for sleeping with his friend or using you to get his own back on her. Either way, you are obviously not his priority in this relationship and you deserve so much better. You've only been together for 6 months, so I'd cut your losses and end things before you get in any deeper. Good luck. Here's the next comment. They have to tone down their FaceTime to just friends while his aunt is over. That means that it was more than friends before. He clearly wants her and she wants him. You're his side piece. You shouldn't have to tolerate whatever bullshit game the two of them are playing. Just break up with this loser. Good sex isn't worth being lied to this way. Here's the next comment. It's a huge red flag. It's a power trip for him to have this other girl out there interested in him. You expressed your concerns to him about their relationship, and he has essentially labeled it your problem and made no changes. Regardless of the positives in your relationship with him, he does not care about you and your feelings enough to change. You are responsible for your happiness. Save the ultimatum. He has already proven you don't matter enough. He is not the one. If she was truly his friend, she would understand your concerns and back off. She may or may not want him, but she clearly doesn't want to share him. Sorry to be so blunt. Just trying to wake you. Story number 2. Husband, 32 male, probably cheating on me, 33 female, with tenant. So my husband and I have been married for 8 years now, and have no children. He lost his job a couple of months ago, and has been in between jobs since, and I too have had a pay cut, so we decided to rent out upper section of the house. It's his family house. A young couple, 26 male and 22 female, has moved in, and I like them. They are good people. We've had them over for dinner a few times. A little background. My husband has the highest sex drive I've ever seen in real life. We have done it literally every day for the last decade. And kinky stuff and whatnot. Naturally this has increased in lockdown. And I'm happy with the intimate part of the relationship, but lately, from 2 weeks to be exact, we've done it like thrice, which is extremely abnormal. I was thinking he was sick or something, but he looks completely fine. When I asked him, he said he's just not feeling very hot right now, and kissed me goodnight. I might be reading too much into this, but the girl lately has been hanging around a lot. Every other day she's at our place when I come from work, and leaves as soon as I'm in. I didn't mind at first, but yesterday, I walked in, and I saw my husband and this girl sitting on the couch, and she was wearing a crop top and a thong. A very thin one. In fact, I first thought she was naked. I've never seen her like this. I'm not being judgmental here, but this piece of clothing has no sense. She was naked. You could see the damn lady's genitalia. WTF. I'm not stupid. She went off as usual, and I'm sure they're doing it or something. I don't know. I haven't caught them, and when I asked him about it, he said I have been working too much, and laughed it off. He had never cheated on me. We've been faithful since the first date, and I know he loves me, but I can't ignore all these facts. Am I reading too much into this? How can I be sure of it? I can't kick the couple out. It's his house, or else I'd have done it already. Update. I confronted him, and he tried to avoid it again, and when I insisted, he kept on lying to my face. I walked out upstairs in mid-fight, and informed the boyfriend of that biatch. When I came down, my husband told me to leave the house. He chose that fling over our marriage. I don't even know who he is. I'm sorry I can't go through the details. I'm very thankful to all of you for being so supportive. I really am. I've informed my parents and have temporarily shifted to a hotel. Thank you again. I'm just not in a position to talk more right now. I'm sorry. Here's the first comment. Who the frick wears only a thong in front of their landlord? No way. There's no way anyone would be comfortable with that unless they are romantically involved. Inappropriate behavior towards your landlords like this is absolutely worthy of an eviction. I would be sure to tell the girl's partner why she's being kicked out too. Something fishy is definitely going on, since she leaves immediately when you come home, which shows that she's there for him only, which is again majorly inappropriate. Even on the slim chance that they're not having sex. As for your husband, I don't know what you would like to do about the situation, but I couldn't stay. You have sex with him every single day for the past decade. It's not like you're depriving him. You've been more than accommodating of his high sex drive, and he still found it necessary to seek out someone else. Like, damn dude, haven't you heard of adult videos? That's what I do when my partner isn't in the mood. Here's the next comment. Wait, she's sitting on the couch next to your husband in just a thong and shirt. Am I reading this right? Why are you doubting your instincts in this situation? Here's the next comment. Good people don't show up at a married man's home while his wife is gone in nothing but a crop top and thong. That's just plain nasty and disrespectful. Geez, I don't know how you handle it the way you did, but I would have gone apeshite. I say trust your instincts. They're usually on point. And like another redditor said, get a cam. Here's the next comment. A crop top and a thong, in which her pee was easily seen. And you said nothing? I would have had to say something. Even, oh you two look cozy, in a sarcastic way. I'm surprised you've been so cool. Kudos to you. I would be absolutely fuming. With him. And her. But mostly him, as he's the one I'm in a relationship with. Why was he sitting so chill with a half-naked girl, in my home, while I'm at work? I don't know if something has already happened, but it sounds mighty shady to me. I'm sorry. This sounds like it is a horrible situation to be in, and my fingers are crossed for you that it's just a boundaries issue, solved with a long hard talk with you and your partner, and can be cleared up easily. Here's the next comment. Did I read correctly? A crop top and just a thong? So, no pants at all, and the only other piece of clothing she's wearing is a crop top? If that's true, I'm sorry to say, it sounds like they just finished doing something together. There is a tiny chance she's just into him and he's oblivious. The change in sexual pattern is pretty damning though. I'm so sorry. I hope I misread. Thank you for listening.